Good morning, BNI Tampa Bay region, and welcome to the March Best Ideas Conference 2021, where leaders come together to help grow ourselves, our businesses, and our chapters. Let's kick this off with what you will find to be one of the most awesome videos available.
I didn't come this far to only come this far. I hear some people saying things like, when I make it, when I get to the top. I'll keep working hard until I get to the top, until I reach my goal. Let me tell you something. There is no end. Winners never stop. If you reach your goal, set a bigger goal. If you get to the top of the mountain, find a bigger mountain. It's the journey. The continued pursuit of growth, the constant seeking of improvement, the challenge. That's what makes life great. That's what makes a fulfilled life. I didn't come this far to only come this far. When I get this goal, I'll seek more. Not more things, more growth. Constantly pushing myself to be better. I didn't come this far to only come this far. I came this far so I can be strong enough to go further. So I'll be good enough to push myself hard. I'm only getting started. This is just the beginning. I'm proud of my achievements, but that doesn't mean I'll settle for them. Proud, but never satisfied. Proud, but forever hungry. Proud and always ready. Proud, but pushing. Pushing for more, pushing for great. A true winner doesn't seek only the title. A true winner seeks growth. A true winner seeks greatness. It's the journey. It's the challenge. Don't tell me it's over. I'm just getting warmed up. If the journey wasn't challenging, the destination wouldn't be rewarding. It's the challenge that makes the greatness. You can't have a champion athlete without great competitors pushing them all the way. You can't have the greatest of all time without champions pushing them all the way. It's the journey, the process that makes the greatness. If you reach your goal, set a bigger goal. If you get to the top of the mountain, find a bigger mountain.
Woo! Is everybody's level 5 at this point? How can you not be fired up after that video, guys? I am Paul Friedlander. I'm going to be your MC host for the first session today. And as you know, we will be recording this session. And I want to make everyone aware that you're going to be a part of that recording. Now, you are welcome to take screenshots and post them on your social media to spread the word about what's going on here today, about what's going on with BNI in the Tampa Bay region. And I got to tell you something, it is exciting. We are so fired up. And like I said, if that video didn't bring you up to a 4.5 or a 5 or maybe even a 6, let's start your day over again, guys, because we are going to have an awesome, awesome conference today. Let's get into the agenda. I just want a quick recap. From 7 to 8 this morning, if you were part of it, we had some open networking. How cool are those one-to-one rooms and those tables? What a neat platform Spencer and Tricia have found for us. But right now, we're in the welcome session, 8 to 9. There'll be a break. You'll have time to take a bio break, as Spencer calls it. And then we're going from 9 to 10, we're going into role-specific sessions. All been planned out. You guys will have a blast. But I'm going to tell you right now, 10 to 11 o'clock, y'all need to be back to the global leadership session. We have some absolutely phenomenal guest speakers that are going to really start your week off correct. And then 11 to 12, there'll be open networking again for any of you that can stay on. If you don't, you definitely don't want to miss any of this from all 5 sessions of the conference. Tune in, and tune out all the other distractions, guys. All right. It's great to remember our core values. What other company represents these 7 core values? They are so critical to everything we do. Today, though, is our first kick around. It is my pleasure to introduce Marlita Black, our Senior Area Director for BNI Tampa with Marlita Black Coaching. Miss Marlita Black, the show is yours, young lady.
Well, welcome to the March Best Ideas Conference. Ivan, we're so happy to have you with us today. And yeah. So when I was thinking about core values, this is my first go-to. It's the foundation and bedrock of everything. And I also, in my role, I get an opportunity to talk to members sometimes who have missed really embracing giver's gain for their own benefit. And it actually makes me a little bit sad. So I want for you to inspire us today with your thoughts. The first question I really have for you is, which came first, the philosophy or the core value, or does it even matter?
Well, we first referred to it as the philosophy of BNI, but as we were developing our core values, it became our principal core value. But the truth is, it is both. It is the philosophy of the organization, and that philosophy became the first core value. And, I came up with that core value because I went to a lot of networking meetings that were mercenary. This is before I started BNI. They were mercenary. Everyone was trying to sell to me. And I would be at those meetings and I felt like I'd been slimed and I needed to go home and get a shower. And I hated those groups. And then I went to these other groups that were totally social. It was happy hour and hors d'oeuvres. People didn't even wear badges. And I'm like, why am I wasting my time there? And what I wanted was to take this focus on business, but not be mercenary. And this focus on relationships, but not be totally social. And merge them together. And in my mind, the glue that would hold those two things together was this principal core value of giver's gain. This idea that, look, I'm here to help you do business, and you are hopefully there to help me do business. And as a result, we're both going to do better. And I think that this is, giver's gain is just such an important concept. To me, it's far more than a phrase. Mm. It's a way of living one's life. It's a perspective to view and interact with the world. It's an attitude, not an expectation. And when it's applied properly, it will change your life. And when it changes enough lives, it'll change the world.
Right. I couldn't agree more. One of the things that kind of breaks my heart sometimes is when it's reduced to kind of a transactional philosophy, and it's thought of as, well, I gave one, so now I'm waiting for the one to come back to me. What do you say to somebody who's thinking kind of more in that I gave one, now I need my one back?
Yeah, well, that is a very transactional approach, and it's the wrong approach. Really, a good network is about a relational behavior. Now, there are limits. One for one is a bad approach for so many reasons. What if I'm a real estate agent and I've given you 5 referrals, and you've given me 1? If you're just counting numbers, I'd rather have the 1 real estate referral than the 5 floral referrals. Because the truth is, I'm going to make a boatload of money on a referral for real estate that turns into a sale. Whereas the florist is going to have to sell a lot of roses to make up for the sale of a house. So it can't be strictly transactional. You have to recognize that some people need more referrals to make the same kind of revenue that other people need. So you got to go into it understanding that right off the bat, it can't be one for one. But also there are a lot of ways that people can support you without giving you a referral. They can be bringing members and sponsoring in a new member, and that new member then refers business to you. So if they're contributing to the chapter, they're contributing to you. Now, there is a limit. And I just did a book called Infinite Giving. It's a quick read. I'd recommend it. One of the things that we say in there is that being an infinite giver does not mean you're an infinite victim. You have to have discernment. And so the discernment starts with who are you bringing into your chapter? You want quality business people. And the discernment continues with, if I've given you a boatload of referrals and you've never referred me, then it's time to sit down and have a conversation. And here's how I would have the conversation. And I've done a podcast on this. I would sit down with the person, and let's say I've given you 6 referrals and you haven't given me any. What I would do is I would sit down with you and say, hey, let's do a one-to-one. Then in the one-to-one, I would have all 6 of my referrals in front of me that I gave you. And I would say, tell me about how this one worked. And then you would tell me. And then I would say, and I also gave you this one. How did that one work out for you? And you might say, oh, that was great. It turned into business. And I'm really glad. And tell me about the third one, and tell me about the fourth one, and tell me. Now, what if you say to me, none of those worked out? Now I'm having a completely different conversation because I just gave you 6 marginal referrals. None worked out. And yet I'm annoyed at you because you haven't given me any. Well, I need to rethink. And then I need to be saying, okay, clearly I'm not giving you the kinds of referrals that you need or you're looking for. So help me out here. Take me to school. Tell me how I can give you better referrals. And then I would not continue with the rest of the conversation, which would be about reciprocation. So if I gave you 6 referrals and let's say 3 of them turn into sales, and the other 3 were, 2 of the other 3 were good referrals, it just didn't work out. One wasn't quite a good referral. I would ask why. What could I do better to get you a good referral? And then after you've answered all that, that's when you then say, I am really glad that many of the referrals I've given you have turned into sales. I feel really good about that. It would be really wonderful if we could have a conversation on how you might be able to do the same for me. Now, that's a really tactful way of saying, hey, I'm giving you business.
Yeah.
I want to continue to give you business. It's okay for you now to do the same for me. It's tactful, it's direct, it's honest, it's authentic. And I told this to somebody once, and they had this conversation, and the person said, oh my goodness, you are so right. I have not given you any referrals. And I'm really sorry. I need to do better. And you know what that person did? They went out and really worked hard and gave the person a couple of great referrals really soon after. Look, the truth is we're all busy. Stuff gets in the way. We're not always thinking about each other the way we could. And so a clear, open, honest, direct dialogue that's not confrontational is the way to handle those problems.
I couldn't agree more. I love the idea of just an assertive business-related conversation. One of the things I like to ask people is there anything more I can do to make me more referable for you after we get to that point of, having given to you? Is there anything I could clarify better in my weekly presentations or in my feature presentations? And I love the outcome of that kind of conversation.
I think that's a great layup into a little deeper conversation of actually making the ask. Because it's okay. Look, I do not believe that you should always ask. Contrary to popular belief where people say, oh, it's okay to always ask. No, it's not. If we don't have a relationship, my asking actually ruins the relationship. But if we have a relationship, especially one where I'm giving and giving and giving, then it's okay. It's okay to ask. The giver's gain has 2 words. One's giver, one's gain.
Yeah.
And so it's okay to ask when you have the relationship. And you certainly have the relationship if you've been giving referrals.
Yeah. Yeah. I think sometimes we think the relationship is enough, if they love me and we go to social events together and,
It's not enough.
they'll understand if I just can't quite get it done this month or whatever the case may be.
Well, I think it's important to tactfully present that to them, as I just described. And my experience is when you do that, it's a wake-up call for most people. And if it's not, then it's time to use discernment.
Right.
Because this person just is not willing to contribute to you. And then you got to look at, are they contributing to me in other ways? Are they giving me great advice that I'm using? Are they bringing members to the chapter who those members are referring me? Okay, right. Then those are other ways that they're contributing. So look at the big picture.
I like to call that stimulating the economy of the chapter and the community, right?
Yeah, it's a great way to put it. What
right.
else?
Are there any final words you would say to us about taking more advantage in this current environment, really in just as life is this year, COVID, not COVID, doesn't matter, taking more advantage of your membership and really maximizing with what we have in our memberships right now?
Yeah, so there's so much to unpack with that. Starting with, most chapters, they want to get back to meet in person. I get that. I started the organization. It is an in-person organization. And to those people who say, come on, we need to get back together, here's the thing to think about. First of all, can you imagine if this had happened 20 years ago without the technology?
Right.
Oh, goodness. We would really be in trouble, but we have the technology. And experts say networking events are super spreader events. Super spreader events. So the way I look at it is we could all say, to heck with it, let's go back, let's start meeting again. And we do, and somebody catches COVID and dies. Or we can continue to meet on Zoom until it's safe. I don't know. It seems pretty darn clear to me that we need to do the right thing and wait until it's safe. And I get Zoom fatigue. Get over it. Buck up, Buttercup. You got to get through this and be safe. You don't want to, maybe you feel like you're not worried about yourself, but maybe there's somebody in your chapter who's in your 60s and has health issues, and it puts them at risk. So do that. Here's the second thing. I've seen people who get frozen by fear, and I've seen people who get focused by fear. And I'm here to tell you, those people who get focused by fear are the ones who will not only survive, but they will thrive. So the answer to your question is, today, more than ever, you need your network. Today, more than ever, you need BNI. In the worst year I have ever seen in my professional career, our organization passed over 11 million referrals, and we generated, in thank you for closed business, over 16 billion with a B, $16 billion in business during the craziest year I have ever experienced. Hope is more powerful than fear. Hope plus action plus a plan will get you through difficult times. And I think that's what we're doing in BNI. Activate your BNI group. Use it on Zoom. We'll get back together in person at some point. Be safe and be focused. That's my message.
Well, thank you for your wise words today. And thanks again for being with us. We've really appreciated your time and your wisdom.
My pleasure.
Thanks.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And we'll see you soon.
Bye-bye.
Woo! Does it just keep getting better or what? That was awesome. That was your surprise, one of your surprise guests for today. How awesome is that? The man, the myth, the legend, Dr. Ivan Meisner, talking to us all directly. And what great words of wisdom. And you know what? Remember what he said. Buck up, Buttercup. Let's move this thing forward. Let's focus on the faith and move forward with what we know we can do. Focus on hope and build our businesses. Well, I got the best job of everybody in this today, and that is I get to, excuse me, introduce these awesome speakers that we're going to have in this first session. And the next awesome speakers are good friends to all of us. They care about us. They go out of their way to do what they can to make events like this work. This new Air Meet platform, which I know some are still getting used to, guys, but trust me, when you have a chance to do it and really get into it and sit at some of the tables, it's absolutely a phenomenal platform. So without any further ado, Spencer and Tricia Reynolds are the executive directors of BNI Tampa. The love story of these two started a long time ago, back in junior high school. They have been married for 23 years and have 4 children. As a family, their passion is international adventure travel and water sports. You know what? They moved their family to Florida to purchase this BNI franchise. That was the 9th largest in the country. Was a massive leap of faith for them. Building the director, consultant, and ambassador team, automating systems with technology, and launching amazing new chapters. BNI Tampa has become the single largest region in the United States. And guess what, guys? The 4th largest region in the world. Spencer loves building leaders, and we can all vouch for that or on this call. He loves launching chapters, facilitating trainings, and working rooms as an expert networker. Tricia loves one-on-one interactions, leading with energy, and running the member services and the back-end operations of this region. For a lot of you on this call, you probably really don't have a clue as to what goes on behind the scenes, but trust me, they have our best interest at heart with everything that they do. We're excited to hear from them this morning. Our executive directors, Spencer and Tricia Reynolds.
Thank you very much. Appreciate this opportunity and to have so many people here. I mean, we're looking at the numbers in the hundreds and hundreds that are connected and watching this morning. Thankful to Ivan Marlita starting us out this morning and that incredible video to get us going. Really excited for what we have today. We are going to be talking specifically about our term theme. Now, our term theme we introduced was at our last conference in August was Rise Up.
Rise Up. So we have really been challenged this year with the theme of Rise Up and being online as long as we have. None of us ever thought that we'd be online for a whole year.
A whole year next week.
And still moving forward into the unknown. I have to say that indeed we did rise up. Sorry, tears. Everyone has just been amazing on our team, getting the chapters online within a week. Even the amount of closed business that has been generated in the Tampa Bay area is almost $100 million in this crazy time. We are keeping business open. We're saving businesses from closing. We are helping our families. And that's all from you. Thank you for rising up. Spencer is going to go over the challenge that we gave and the stats.
All right. One of the things that's been incredible is we had a team of people who came to us that are members. And those members said, we really need to help out some other members who are not as fortunate in this time. We know some businesses have thrived in this time and other businesses have really struggled. And so this group came to us and said, we want to help some members raise some money to keep members that need it. And we want to give you some stats about that. This is pretty amazing. Look at these numbers and tell them.
All right. So we had 19 members. They were helped with direct payments from the committee. 7 members were helped directly by their chapters that we know of. 2 members were helped directly by another member in their chapter that we know of for sure. And 4 members renewed without our assistance after discussion, possibly got help somewhere, but did not quit. That's a total of 29 members that we know of or more. That's one whole chapter. It's not over. Help is still needed.
We do still have folks who are going to need that help. So if you do have the ability to help, we'd love to be able to save even more. And we can direct you to that from the region office. We don't do it at all. It comes from a committee of members, and you know who you are. And thank you very much for everything that you do to help review those and to determine the right ways to help each one of those members who do need help. Had a couple of people who gave us some testimonials that whose memberships were saved, and that they're still here with us and being able to continue on for another year of growing their business. And the recovery that we're all going to see this next year is really awesome. Now, we introduced something at August Leadership Conference, and that was the Rise Up Challenge. Now, if you remember, we talked about two different businesses. We talked about restaurants and dentists. So as we had the restaurants and dentists that we wanted to find for every chapter, we've had chapters who have found great restaurants. We've had chapters who've found great dentists. The bigger problem was we didn't think we'd be online this long, and we didn't get the +2 in any of those chapters to be able to have a winner to say we're +2 and we have both of those people as a net. So here is what we're going to do. We're going to continue that challenge, and we're going to add another challenge with it, because there are some of your chapters who got that and they're like, what's next? What's the next challenge we can do? So we are going to have another challenge. We're going to add this to it. Now, here's the thing. This one's also 2 specific classifications and being net +2. Your chapters can get net +4 with all 4 of them and win 2 different drawings as we get to our next conference. So as we do the drawing at our next conference, you have 2 chances to win. And the next ones that we're looking to do are specifically an auto body shop and a hairdresser. Now, there's many reasons behind why these are such awesome opportunities for our chapters, biggest of which is these are very underrepresented in our region. I can tell you that almost every single chapter in our region has a personal injury attorney, and they have a chiropractor who's their right-hand person. Really boost numbers of referrals all over in the chapter, feeding that into so many other people. The hairdresser, why is that important?
Well, I was a BNI member as a hairdresser, and everybody needs a hairdresser. Not only do they need the hairdresser, but the hairdresser talks to a lot of other people in their seats throughout the day. Normally about 15 clients a day they have listening to them and speaking with them about their issues and what they need in their life. And they're just a great referral partner. So hairdressers are a great, what I call as a maven. Look up that word if you don't know what a maven is.
So an awesome opportunity for every one of our chapters. If you already have a hairdresser or an auto body shop, find the other or both of those and get +2 in growth in your chapter to be able to qualify for this awesome drawing. So we're going to have 2 of the +2 with a hairdresser, an auto body shop, and then our other with a restaurant and a dentist. Let's focus on making those happen.
So just to clarify, there wasn't any of the chapters that actually qualified for this drawing. So we have extended it for another 6 months for the first challenge.
The first challenge. So we'll have both challenges going at this time. All right. So thank you, Trisha. I'm thankful that you're here to share. She doesn't want to be on the stage for very long. She's like, I want to leave. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you a little bit about where we are as a region and give you the state of the region. And I want to give you some numbers as to where we were and then where we're headed and where we're going. All right. So first off, if you look back to last year at this time at this conference, we went over our numbers. And in 2020, we had 41 chapters. Now, inside those 41 chapters, we had 1,562 members, and we had 9 core groups at the time. We were able to launch a lot of those chapters this year. We still have some more to go. And here we had 53 core members that were all part of that. We have launched those chapters that were in that group, almost every one of them. And now we have gotten a total of, back then we had $97.5 million in thank you for closed business. So where are we at today? Well, we were able to launch 6 chapters last year. But our numbers went down still. So we'll talk about that. Our total numbers are 1,540 as of right now. which if you think about from last year to today and have that difference of about 22 members, that is a pretty good recovery that we're having, even though we had an amazingly difficult year inside of COVID for even our BNI business. So as we have it, we have 4 core groups right now that we started some more, and those will all be launching in the next few months. We have 44 core group members inside of those groups. Hopefully many of them here today. And our Thank You for Closed Business numbers have gone up to 98.2 million right now. We've hit 100 million for 1 week, and it was right at the time when Dr. Meisner was able to speak to us. It was pretty amazing. So that's where we are. Here is the focus that I want you to get. We've done pretty darn well this last year. All things considered, we're pretty pleased with where we are. Here's the thing. We went from having an average chapter size in 2018 of 40 members. Then it went in 2019 to 39 members. We launched new chapters, several of them. And then we had 2020, we got to 38 members. We launched a bunch more chapters. And then in 2021, we launched more chapters than we've ever launched before. But our numbers have dropped significantly to 33 on an average in every chapter. That means some of our big chapters are not quite as big, and we have a lot more of our chapters who've lost numbers to be in the smaller side. So what are we going to do about that? We are headed in a different direction. We are going to be heading to 40 members and above again. We're going to focus on filling chapters. We know that we've got chapters that are going to be launching this year. We will continue to have some launches at the end of the year as well, but we are really going to focus on helping every chapter have more members to create more referrals that create more Thank You for Closed Business. That's why we came to BNI in the first place, is we really wanted to have an opportunity to grow our business. Now, when you really think about, does a chapter size really make a difference inside the numbers? Let me show you how significant. I've updated these numbers, and this is pretty amazing. If you have a chapter that is 20 members or less, the average Thank You for Closed Business per member is $23,509. If you have 20 to 39, so 20 to 40, $47,000. It doubles, okay? Now, the next one's not as huge of a jump. It still goes up a significant amount. You can almost add the two together to get you to 60,000 when you're between 40 and 60. But the big chapters, oh my goodness, the difference those chapters make. Look at that, $95,471 is the average chapter per member Thank You for Closed Business number. That is significant. And we want to help make sure that you get as much of that business as possible, which means we want to help you grow your chapter so that you have more opportunity and everyone in your chapter has more opportunity with a balanced approach. So the next part of it is I really want to show you the numbers behind this is honestly shocking. The number of members who are in the green and the number of referrals that they get, which equates to the number of Thank You for Closed Business dollars they close, is a very big gap between those in the yellow and in the red and in the gray. You might wonder just how much of a gap it really is. Guess what? It's significant. This is what the numbers overall. A green member on average can make $99,000 if you take all the numbers and combine them all down and get the data out. That's 55% of all of that almost $100 million is made by green members. Then we have our yellow members that make half as much, $51,578 on an average yellow members membership. Okay, that's 29% of the pie. Now the red members. If you're a red member, your experience is a $19,000 difference, right? It's a $19,000 total of an average red member's Thank You for Closed Business income to their business or to their Thank You for Closed Business dollars. And look at the gray. The gray is an average $9,000. That is such a disparity between a gray member and a green member to the tune of 10 times, 11 times the closed business done from a gray member to a green member. So amazing. So as you look at the opportunity of growing in your chapter, grow and become green, because what we really want is we want to have green chapters that have green members. what would it be like if 90% of your chapter was green? What if every single member in your room was green? Can you imagine what that would look like? We have some chapters right now that have eliminated the gray members. They don't have a single gray member in their chapter. We have chapters that have only 1 or 2 red, and everybody else is yellow and green. If your chapter's not there yet, strive for that. Go for that opportunity to really level up inside of what it is that we do in BNI. And how do we become green? We do the fundamentals. The fundamentals are so important. Having those 2 one-to-ones, having those 2 CEUs every week, giving 2 referrals. And then I would even step it up and say more than 1 visitor a month. I'd say 2. Why not go for 2, 2, 2, 2, and really make it happen? You'll never worry about whether or not you're going to be green if you just focus on having more than that every week. And this is just marketing your business. So as you look at the opportunity in your chapter of where you want to go, I hope you can remember back. We had YP Live here in August. And by the way, if you were not here in August, by the way, can you believe this number? We just did some numbers. There are over 1,000 members inside of BNI Tampa that have never met in an in-person meeting. Isn't that insane? Like, it blows my mind to think there's that many that are really there. But here's the thing. Last August, we had our leadership conference, and we'll have our leadership conference again coming up the end of August again this next year. Last year, we had YP Live, and YP is one of the greatest speakers in making things come alive inside of BNI. And he's actually coming back for our 3rd hour. So he's coming all the way from Perth, Australia, in the middle of his opposite hours from us. So he'll be very late at night, but he will be coming to us from Perth, Australia. He's the national director of the Philippines and Thailand and South Korea. He talked about something last conference about having your chapters become green. Does anybody remember what it was? There's something he wanted you to picture, something that he said, if you can do this, this will drive some crazy results. And I want you to think about this mental picture. For those of you who were there, you might remember he said, we're talking about a green Ferrari. You want a chapter that runs like a Ferrari and it's green, right? So if you don't know what that is, go to BNI Business Builder, look in the resources and just look up YP. If you do YP, we cut this section out from the conference just so you could watch his presentation about the green Ferrari and how to get your chapter into the green. Awesome, awesome. Now, some of you might look at that and go, okay, that green is a little much for me. Well, how about this green? You like that green better? There's a 488 Spider. That Spider, Ferrari Spider right there, just sold for $1.3 million. Now, if your chapter wants the millions of dollars, it takes green Ferraris. So hopefully that gives you some inspiration. You see that you can really get your chapter to be a fine-tuned machine. That's what we're here for today. Leadership training is about learning how to do those basic things in your chapter and to do them perfectly. Ivan Misner says it so well. He says, don't try to do 6,000 things once. Try to do 6 things 1,000 times and become masterful at them. And those chapters in our region that are masterful at that, they are chapters that are in the green every month. They just know how to do business. They know how to run their agenda. They know how to welcome visitors. They know all the pieces of the puzzle, and it really does work well to help them become a machine that drives millions of dollars to every one of their members' businesses. Okay, so now the question is, how do we fill our chapters so that we can have these green Ferraris? We are going to go into what we have in the past called member extravaganza. Member extravaganza normally ran for a couple of months. You add 6 members to your chapter. This is the same type of program, but this program has been around for a very long time called member extravaganza, and we're updating the name. We're updating the name and the look and the feel and the support, and we are going to offer weekly support calls for every one of our leadership teams so that they can plan for an incredible business open house and have those visitor days that really bring a lot of people into your chapter to experience BNI at one time and grow by a big number at one shot inside of that time frame. We've got a video that I'm going to show you specifically about that video, about Activate. And I would love to play it for you now so you can understand a little bit what we're doing with Activate. All right. So hopefully you were able to see that, what that was all about. Let me share my slides one more time and make sure that everybody understands what that video showed and what we're going to do with that. Okay, so as we go into Activate, it is for a time frame that starts on April 1st. This is the official time for the United States from April 1st until June 2nd. Now you may wonder why that weird date. The reality is that gives every single chapter the equal amount of time depending on which day of the week that they're on. So that's why they did it to those dates. So during April and May, you have an opportunity to have a business open house in your chapter. Now, in that business open house, this is where we really invite people. I'm going to challenge you to do something different this year, okay? So if you are not paying attention right now, you're doing something else, taking notes on your phone, texting, whatever that happens to be, time out, okay? Time out, focus here for just a minute, okay? Focus here for just a minute, and what I would love is for you to hear this. Your chapter, to qualify for the drawing, 6 new members. Let's do something we haven't ever done before. And that is, let's, as a leadership team, choose the 6 classifications that we are going to focus on and have everyone in the chapter focus on those 6. Okay, normally we just say, invite anybody. This is one where we're saying, invite the 6 that really are going to happen. Now, you can obviously invite all the other people that you'd like to your chapter, but as a chapter, you know what the needs are for your referral partners who are struggling or who need those extra people on their right hand and their left hand to be able to bring them through. So as you have an opportunity to select the 6 people, the 6 chapter classifications that you want to fill as a group, then focus all your efforts on those 6 and watch what happens. I have some friends up in Maine who have did this last year, and it is unbelievable the number of those chapters in the region that all got their 6. We're talking like 85% of every chapter qualified during their what was extravaganza, what's now Activate, to be able to really grow your chapter in a way that will make those opportunities for thank you for closed business, more referrals, more relationships, all that does growth in your business. And it can happen at a time with those 6 people. So as you go through this, and you're going to be working with your director consultant to come up with what day you're going to do that, whether that's in the first month or in the second month, we have some opportunities that will help you get reserved so you can get some support calls that we'll do every Friday. As a global, by the way, this is all happening from our U.S. national office. They're supporting every one of our region and every one of our chapters in the US to give us the ideas of how to make sure we're engaged in inviting people to those events. So pick those dates with your director consultant so we can lay them out on the calendar, make sure they all fit inside of the way it needs to happen, and then that we can all focus on inviting those 6 people to get them to qualify inside of it. Now, it doesn't mean you need to limit it to that one event. You could do some stack days in the other month to be able to say, hey, who are some couple of people that we want to focus on during some other weeks, but do one big event that will really make a difference. Okay, so those are the dates. Now, next thing, I want to give you some updates. Some of this is going to be still forthcoming. Others of it's coming right now. I can tell you this. Reporting to You is our software that we get the 3rd business day of the month that tells us our traffic lights, our chapter traffic lights, our evolution, and all the reporting that we do as a region. It is currently available for leadership team members in the Google Play Store right now. It will be available in the Apple App Store within the week. It is already submitted and approved and done. They're just waiting for it to go live. The app will help you to see all your things that you do right there in your phone so that you can have instant access to your traffic lights report and to be able to see all the reporting and information that we have. So that is huge for our leadership teams to be able to see the information that's in Reporting to You. Next is the BNI Connect update. On the 13th, which is this weekend, there will be an update coming. Now, I happen to know what's happening during that update, but I can't tell you exactly what it is because they haven't officially announced what it is. Jeremy Walsh, Tricia was having a one-to-one with Jeremy, and we were talking, and he said, oh my gosh, this update is changing things fundamentally inside of BNI Connect. I believe it will be the game changer in BNI this year. So watch for that. You'll see what it is. It is going to be some amazing ways to see things you haven't been able to do in the past with BNI Connect, and that comes up this weekend. Then we have BNI Brand Share. BNI Brand Share has some great new updates to it. I put that little toolbox for success on this slide. All of you can go to bnibranding.com. You might want to write that down in your notes to be able to get some really great things. Like if you want to do some social media posts for yourself on your own Instagram and your own Facebook and your own accounts, they have prepared automatically for you specific social media ready images that you can post saying, we are looking for a personal fitness trainer. We are looking for a dentist. We have an auto body shop we want, or a hairdresser, or a graphic designer, or a florist, or electrician. They have a whole bunch of these images that you can go to bnibranding.com, download and put them up on your chapter Facebook groups. You can put them out there in events. You can put them into your social media that you do for Instagram to find people. We know specifically, I'll give you an example. We had a chapter downtown, BNI Zenith, that was led by Amber Lewis, who was amazing at using posts on social media to create huge amounts. And that's how she got that chapter launched with all of her referral partners, was finding a lot of them through social media. So a great opportunity. Another one that's coming out is a new book by Dr. Meisner that's called The Connector Effect. In that book, Robert Skrobe and Graham Weimiller joined Dr. Meisner in writing this book to talk about becoming a master connector. This is an initiative that BNI is going to have. You may have seen in your last week's email that was from SuccessNet, that is the SuccessNet. It shows you, by the way, SuccessNet is only to be minutes added to your CEUs. Every CEU is an hour of total time. So as you read SuccessNet, add that to your time for your week to report. It's not a CEU in and of itself. It's a short email. But in there, you saw the world's first master connector from India. I'm going to tell you this, check your email again today, because you're going to see the second master connector, and that comes from the United States. In fact, it comes from Florida. In fact, it comes from BNI Tampa in the greater Brandon area, our member of the year for 2 years running, Danielle Stevens. Watch for it. You're going to see this is a worldwide opportunity for some great exposure for her and her business because of the things that she's done. So, all right, accountability. I just want to bring this in. Accountability when we talk about our core values, and this comes from The Connector Effect, the book. It says the fastest way to build trust is to make promises and keep them. Rather than expecting others to believe you and accept your word, demonstrate who you are by accepting leadership roles, following through on your promises, and being the one that keeps their word, even when it appears no one is looking. Here's the thing. Some of us have gotten comfortable. And when it comes to being comfortable, comfortable isn't comfortable. Comfortable never got up before dawn. Comfortable won't get its hands dirty. Comfortable has nothing to prove. Comfortable can't get the job done. Comfortable doesn't have any new ideas. Comfortable won't dive in head first. Comfortable isn't the American dream. Comfortable has no guts. Comfortable never dares to be great. And comfortable falls apart at the seams. Don't be comfortable. Rise up. Get uncomfortable and grow. Go from maintaining to creating and really making that shift inside your leadership, as we can learn from greats like John Maxwell that talk about shifting, and go from maintaining what's there to creating something new in your business, in your chapter, and it will make a difference in your life. And one of the ways that we do that in BNI Tampa is with GP 101. That's our goal planning. You're going to learn about this in our Vice President and Membership Committee sessions that we're going to have, our role-specific sessions coming up here in just a minute. This is the $1 million difference. This is the biggest difference that you will find in BNI. We are the only region in the world that every single chapter in our region participates in goal planning and making sure that we have plans, goals, dates, metrics, how we're tracking it, and how we're going to get there. This is the secret sauce. When people say, what makes BNI Tampa different? This is it. Goal planning 101 is the single most important thing we do as leadership teams to move the dial and to keep us on top and to make our members more money than anybody else. It's because of goal planning. And I hope that you guys really engage in this as your leadership teams, get everybody bought on, have your chapters be engaged, and really make it happen. I'm going to turn it over now to Paul, and he's going to introduce to us very quickly for our next speaker.
As I mentioned, guys, I have got the best job today as host of this session because I get to introduce the best of the best. And this next speaker, not only a good friend, but a leader. As mentioned, she has been the top of the pile for the last 2 years in terms of our conferences. And she is just a wealth of information and knowledge. Danielle Stevens with Bella Vita Design is our area director for the greater Brandon area. She's going to share the importance of flawless execution of our roles. By the way, check out tonight on HGTV, the 100-day build, because you will see Danielle and her husband Jeremy on the episode with their dream referral that they got through BNI that landed them on this show. Danielle, take it away.
Paul, thank you so much. Good morning, everyone. I'm so excited to be here. Thank you so much for all of the kind words and accolades, you guys. I couldn't do it without BNI, and that's the truth. Thank you, Paul, mentioning HGTV tonight, too. Very excited about that. Hope you guys will check it out. So we're going to move into our next section of conference here in just a few minutes, and that is the flawless execution of your role. That's what I want to talk about before you head into these role-specific breakouts, and there's going to be some instructions, so you guys want to make sure to listen up when Paul comes back in just a few moments. So let's talk about flawless execution of your role for a minute. What does that really mean? So it starts, in my opinion, with doing the things we said we'd do, right? That's simple. I said I would do this role, and so I want to make sure that I do it. We want to use the tools that BNI provides to us so that we can really kill it in our leadership team positions. Whether you're a visitor host greeter, a communication coordinator, a president, or anything in between, we want to make sure that we're striving to flawlessly execute those roles that we've signed up for. But it's so much more than just doing what we said we'd do. It's the chapter functioning at its highest level. It's learning as a business professional. It's building your credibility. And what does all of that result in? Well, a chapter where everybody is doing what they said they'd do results in attracting more members. Those members doing all the things not flawlessly executing your role, you may be creating more work for someone else. And I know none of you would ever want to do that. And so let's really, really kill it in our roles. So like I said, in a few minutes, we're going to be heading into those role-specific breakouts. And during the hour that you're in there, I really encourage you guys to take some notes, listen, learn, and really, really interact in that breakout you're going to be in. So most of you were a part of BNI a couple years ago during a leadership conference where you heard Spencer talk about BNI being a franchise, right? And that whole round hamburger conversation. He referenced McDonald's, and no matter what McDonald's you go to in the world, the hamburger is the same. And why is that? That's because there's a supply chain involved. There's an assembly line, there's a set of instruction, there's people, and everything is followed. And that assembly line fails? What happens if the guy that puts the pickles on takes the day off? What happens if he doesn't like pickles? What happens if he actually prefers bread and butter pickles and uses those instead? Well, the hamburger changes, right? And the end result is different. So I'll take it back to BNI, just an example. When a visitor is registered, we all know that there are steps that have to be taken by multiple leadership teams when we have a visitor, right? Prior to the meeting, during the meeting, after the meeting, and we hope that it will result in a visitor applying for membership. But what if we don't call them the day before? What if we don't greet them when they arrive? What if we don't send them an application? What if we don't follow up with them? We would be leaving off the pickles, the onions, the ketchup, and the mustard from that burger. And that doesn't sound very tasty to me. So we all have a part in this assembly line. No matter what your role is in the chapter, we want you to execute it flawlessly for the benefit of the chapter and your fellow members. But when you do that, remember that your credibility shoots through the roof and you end up gaining in the end. And that's what we're here for, right? Givers gain. You heard Marlita and Dr. Ivan Meisner talking about givers gain. That's what we're all doing here. So I'm asking you guys, as we approach the second half of our leadership term, are you killing it? Are you flawlessly executing it? Are you doing exactly what is needed? It's never, ever too late to pick up some new tips and tricks and do exactly what's needed. March Best Ideas is the best place for that. Remember, that's what we're here for, to hear the best ideas. And so as we head over into those other rooms, remember, take some notes, have a notebook handy and a pen, your 2 ears for listening, right? And write everything down that you need. Take some notes, bring it back to your chapter. You got 6 months left to kill it, and I know you can do it. I can't wait to see the presidents in the president's breakout room, and Paul's going to give you guys instructions on where we're all going to head to. So thanks so much, everyone.
That was awesome, Danielle. Thank you so much. And the key, guys, flawless execution. Trust the process. It didn't just happen overnight. Trust the process. So we are getting ready to break out into our 9 to 10 o'clock, which is role-specific sessions. We're going to have a blast. You guys are going to learn a lot. And as Danielle said, it's about March Best Ideas. It's sharing. It's not going to be just somebody talking to you. You guys have to share in this room to make it work. But I'm going to tell you, it's critical. From 10 to 11, we have some awesome guest speakers. So please make sure when you're done in that room, you come back into the global leadership session. And then if you have some time, come back on and do some more open networking. If you did it this morning, how those 4-minute one-to-ones are just absolutely phenomenal, aren't they, guys? And here's what the next slide is going to show you that you need to be. That is your link for getting into the Zoom. Do not turn this session off. Add the Zoom, and that's where we're going to do our role-specific sessions. And finally, we are going to have a video as we go out, because guess what, guys? Tampa Bay, we are champions, not just with our sports team, but in my opinion, with the Tampa Bay region BNI. Tampa Bay, here we go, guys.
All right, as I'm getting this video to play, everybody, make sure you go to the chat. I put it both in the chat and the feed for the event to click over into the link to find your place to get to this next hour. Please click on that. As soon as this video ends, this session will close and you will be done. So please make sure you click on that link now while you watch this video and have fun.
Don't know how it's going to end up. It's still happening, but fans are rallying around this team tonight.
Well, this year certainly gave us one of the most memorable sports seasons in history. Tampa stole the national spotlight. That's right, go Bulls. Melissa, well, how amped up did things get out here last night? Oh, we dropped it! God! Let's go!
Stamkos open. Shoot, score! Stamkos! And it's 2-0 Lightning!
Look at the players going crazy for Steven.
Point on the steal here. Kucherov with him. Waits. Shoots, he scores! Here's Kucherov back the other way. A lot back in front. Kucherov shooting, and it's loose out of the goal. They score! Court trying to jam it home. Corpusalo drove across. They score!
And the Tampa Bay Lightning have won the Stanley Cup!
Manuel Margot.
Wendell bluffed. Ball's hit well. Left field. Back goes Goriel. It is gone!
Manuel Margot in his postseason debut launches a 2-run homer, and the Rays take a 3-0 lead.
Now they have a chance to tie the ball game.
Little jam shot. Wendell is there, and he makes the catch, and the Tampa Bay Rays have captured game one.
Castillo ready for an 0-2 pitch. In the air, left center field, playable. Margot's got it, and that's it. The ball game is over. The Tampa Bay Rays, they win it at a 3-0 series lead in this American League Championship.
Jansen, that is into center field. Here comes Kiermaier. Phillips has tied the game. Arrows Arena coming around. Throw home. Now he stumbles. But the ball gets away. Tampa Bay wins it. Brett Phillips, game 4 hero.
Lock in. You know what to do. From here, now we're just playing ball.
The world is watching. What you gonna do?
It's the guy you're talking. One of those weird announcer jinxes. Here's Brady's pass. It's Gronkowski. Back again. Brady play action. Looking. Third option. End zone. Caught. Gronkowski again.
You fake it here, and then you run on the next one if you don't get it.
There's the fake. There's the pass. And there's the catch for the touchdown. Antonio Brown.
Thanks, everybody. We are now going to end this session, so please click on the link in the chat inside the feed to get to your spot that you need to be in for the next hour. Go over there, then take your bio break. We'll get started in just a few minutes. Thank you, everyone. Leave this open as we close this session so you can come right back for our third hour.